Hello and welcome back to yet another episode of Serie A Spotlight. This is episode 231 and we're your host Jake.
And Matt.
Here to give you our Serie A predictions for the 2026-2027 Serie A season.
Now, if you were concerned about your predictions, Jake, you would be calling them early bird predictions, right?
No, but I'm confident.
And I think that is the scapegoat way to go about it.
The transfer market, of course, is still open. Many people don't like to make their predictions so early on, but we're doing it for the love of the game, right? From what we've seen so far. Some bold calls, maybe. We'll see. We haven't actually shared our predictions yet with each other, so we'll have to see how that goes.
Yes, I will die by my predictions. No matter what happens in the transfer market, no matter if Juve bring in Mbappe, no matter what happens, I am standing by my predictions.
Fair
till
enough,
the
brother.
day that I die. So that's what we'll be doing this episode, guys. We'll be taking you through our predictions. Before we get into that, of course, major shout out goes to Benevo Bid, our media partners. Check out our link in bio to bid on autographed items from top players, including match issued kits. If you check out their socials, you can also find real footage of the players signing off the merch in case you're slightly skeptical. Most of the proceeds go to charity, so click the link in our bio to help make a difference and upgrade your collection ahead of the new season. I saw that they have a Gattuso one.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
about to be launched, so stay tuned.
Amazing. What does the F what does the F in fun stand for, brother?
Oh. Don't ask me that question.
Fantasy football. And that's what it stands for. All right. And we have got our own league, ladies and gentlemen. And this is officially the last call. Last week we said this is the penultimate call, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But it's actually the last call. And it's your last opportunity to join our league. We have two leagues. We've got a free league that is available to absolutely anyone. You can find the link online on our Instagram. And then we've got our Patreon league, which you will have to become a patron to join. Anyone who wins this league gets himself a free kit of his choice. So far, the winners have been Joey D and Alan, who have been gifted an Orsolini kit and a Gabbia kit.
Exactly. It's good to note that this is brought to you by Tattico, a brand new fantasy league platform specifically for Serie A. If you want to learn how to play Tattico, check out our latest episode. Like Jake said, we have the Patreon league, which you'll have to pay $3.99 a month for to get that, along with a bunch of other perks. But if you win the league, you win a free kit of your choice. We also have a free league for our listeners / non-patrons, where the winner will cement their names in the Serie A Spotlight Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
Yes. Massive shout out to Tattico for helping us make this happen. If you guys are new here, make sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter and YouTube, and rate us 5 stars on Spotify or wherever you get your podcast. Of course, it really helps us grow and keep bringing you quality content. What we'll be doing, like every other season, so this is our 5th season of Serie A Spotlight. What we'll be doing throughout the season is covering every single match, every single team, every single week for the duration of the whole season. So if you want to know how Udinese did against Parma, if you want to know how Venezia fared against Torino, this is your place. We don't only talk about the big teams, we give them all the time of day. So if you guys really want to get into Serie A this season, look no further than Serie A Spotlight. We're also brothers. We have a cute little relationship. He's my big brother.
He's my little dumb brother.
Yeah.
No, we have we kind of like take this for those of you who have never heard the show before, of course, we take this kind of funny laid back approach to games, but with a lot of preparation. So we do a lot of prep. We don't claim to be experts on the sport or experts on Italian football history, but one thing we do provide is a lot of research and a lot of insight and statistics,
and
genuine passion for the league.
And we've been watching since we were 4. What you'll get is the eyes of two men that actually watch the game and actually watch most of the games. We do have something extremely exciting to bring to you this episode. You've heard his name before, you've seen his work before, but have you met him yet? This episode, we will be featuring our lovely producer, Tyson. Tyson, welcome to the show, brother.
Poof! There
What's
he
up,
is.
guys?
Oh, yes.
Yo.
There you are.
Finally we managed to make this
Yes.
happen, huh?
A voice, a face, a producer, a friend, a patron.
I love her.
I love her.
It's about time. It's about time. We went a long way from me just doing that funny application video.
Yeah, that was hilarious,
That
by
was
the way.
amazing.
On the call for our not the most recent producer call,
Our
the
first
one before that. Yeah, he sent us he was already a patron, Tyson, and he sent us this hilarious video of like why I should be your patron. It was so why I should be your producer. Sorry, and it was absolutely hilarious. But we thought he was joking.
We thought he was taking the
We
piss.
never
And
actually-
we had already chosen someone that I worked with. Like, no offense, Nick. We're like, fuck, Tyson.
No, also
was
I did this
actually
like 3 weeks late. I think 3 weeks after you guys said you need a producer, I was like,
Yeah.
fuck it, let me just do this as a joke.
Hey, man, you were busy. You were busy. For those of you that can't see the color of Tyson's shirt, Tyson is a massive Napoli fan. Yeah, Tyson, you actually grew up in Naples, is it?
Yes, I lived there for 8 years.
And the first game that you watched, I love this trope.
Yeah.
Do you? The first game you've ever watched was Napoli in Serie B, right?
Yes, exactly, against Genoa.
Absolutely amazing. We'll have more time to get into Tyson, but we are here strictly for business, and Tyson will be actually sharing his predictions with us, so he will be joining us for this episode and future episodes, of course, because he does have a lot of insight. He is an encyclopedia. So, yes, brothers, shall we begin from the 20th place?
Let's jump into it. So I think what we should do is go in a circle.
Yes,
I would say
of course.
20th to first. So we
Okay.
each do our predictions separately, and then we'll come together and discuss our
Yes.
takes at the end.
But first, shout out to Emmett, Adam, and Stuart for joining our Patreon. Thank you so much for your support. You have officially become Spotheads, and you have officially joined the Fantasy League. Thank you so much. Can't wait to spend the season with you guys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome, guys. I if you could all win the kit, I would be extremely happy.
Exactly.
But you can't. All right. Shall I start? Shall I begin things? My predictions from bottom to top.
Yes. However, you've already cracked yours open. I'm here staring at you.
I've just cracked it open. Sorry.
Somehow missed that.
I don't want to make a big deal of it because Chisk don't sponsor us.
Exactly.
Here
And
we
neither
are.
do these massive headphones I'm wearing. Horrible, by the way. To get Tyson on this, we all have to wear headphones. Matthew's got the AirPods looking slick.
Yeah.
I've got these fucking... I
Hell
look
yeah.
like a pilot. But
Oh,
we
well.
look professional, Jake.
Thanks, bro. Thanks.
I'm Gen Z, you're not. I'm just gonna get straight into it, guys.
Please.
All right. So 20th place. So these are my 3 relegated teams, okay? So in last place, I've got Frosinone. In 19th, I've got our beloved Lecce. And in 18th, I've got Monza. Those are my relegated sides.
Okay.
In 17th, cutting it close to relegation, I've got Venezia. 16th, Cagliari. 15th, Genoa. 14th, taking a bit of a tumble here, Torino. Surpassed by Questa's Parma in 13th. Aquilani's Sassuolo will make it to 12th. They'll be stable enough, but they won't improve so far. In 11th, Bologna. In 10th, Lazio. In 9th, I've got Udinese. The continuity with Runjaic. Okay.
Thank God we have Tyson on the show, bro. No.
In 8th. Okay, yours are the same. Fuck off. In 8th, I've got Fiorentina. Alright, now Fiorentina had a great mercato. They'll improve, but I think Europe is still a bit of a push. Grosso has a lot of work to do in a broken camp, essentially. In 7th, Atalanta. 6th, Roma. They take a bit of a hit, Roma. 5th, Napoli. 4th, Como.
No. Go on.
3rd, Inter. 2nd, Juve.
No.
Oh, no way.
Forza lotta, vincerai, non ti lasceremo mai.
Okay.
Ale.
Okay. While I respect that, and I'm currently full of adrenaline, thanks to you. Bold. Never mind. You had me in the first half. I'm not gonna lie.
Can I just
Yeah.
Ruben Amorim, just very quickly because I've prepared this. He was brilliant at Sporting. He was shit at United. Both things can absolutely be true. but the past is evidence and not destiny. So when the moment comes to choose between doubt and belief, err on the side of light. Bet on the comeback, bet on chapter 3, bet on what can still become. If Lautaro is the king, Ramsh is the siege. If Spence is the storm, Moreira is the thunder. If Inter are the snakes, Milan are the fire. Forza lotta, vincerai, non ti lasceremo mai.
Sensational,
Matt,
brother.
Ventura also was once a good manager. It doesn't mean he's going to make a comeback either.
Very, very well
Ventura
put.
wants his comeback. Anyway.
Yeah, there we go. All right. Hashtag give... No, never mind. Let's not milk that. All right. So, Mela, up till 10th, we're very, very similar, brother. I've got Frosinone in last with Monza and Lecce just above them. Lecce to just get relegated. I think this is the year it happens. They've been slowly dismantling their team, it seems, and they have been abandoned by Serie A spotlight favorite Lamek Banda, who is training with an Arab team. I can't remember which one. Sorry for the lack of insight there, but he has actually gone against the terms of his contract to be there training with them.
Lamek.
Yeah, naughty boy. 17th, I've got Venezia, followed by Parma, and 16th, 15th, Genoa, 14th, Cagliari, 13th, Torino. In 12th, I've got Sassuolo, followed by Lazio in 11th, sorry, Dave. Udinese in 10th, so we're both high on Udinese. 9th, I've got Fiorentina, massively improving with a nice transfer market. In 8th, I've got Bologna.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
In 7th, Atalanta. 6th, I've got Milan. In 5th, I've got Como. 4th, Roma. 3rd, Napoli. 2nd, Juve. And 1st, Inter.
Okay.
Those are my predictions.
Really?
Very conservative, I feel like.
Conservative, yeah, to be honest
No
with
hot
you.
takes.
I think the hottest take is Como not finishing in top 4 again, to be honest, because in reality, they're there to stay. You know, I just can't... I don't think they will want to sacrifice anything in the Champions League, and that might cost them in the league.
We'll get into our buts, whys, and hows very soon. Respectable table, Jake. Respectable.
Thank you, thanks.
A few bold ones, yes, I believe. So far, the theme is being high on Udinese. Thijs, you're next, and I want to see how high on Udinese you get.
So for the viewers and listeners, just to preface this, the boys made me do this list 2 minutes before we started recording. So this is kind of last minute. There might be a lot of hot takes. So in 20th, I have Venezia going straight back down.
Holy shit.
I just think there's too many signings and too much going on, and it's going to be a bit unstable.
Mm-hmm.
In 19th, sadly, I have Genoa going down. I think the Rossi hype train is going to be over, sadly. Joining them, I have Lecce. I think yesterday's performance in the Coppa was nothing to be proud of. In 17th, I have Monza. In 16th, Frosinone. In 15th, Sassuolo. In 14th, the mighty Lazio. In 13th, Udinese. In 12th, I have Cagliari. And in front of Cagliari, in 11th, I have Cuesta's men, Parma. In 10th, I have Torino, just like every year. In 9th, I have Bologna. In 8th, I have Milan.
Oh my
In 7th, I have Atalanta. 6th, Fiorentina. 5th, Como. I think they'll struggle with European football for the first time ever. In 4th, I have Inter. In 3rd, I have Roma. In 2nd, I have Juve. And 1st, I have Napoli.
So it turns out Tyson isn't high on Udinese, he's high on marijuana, brother. Napoli to win the league. I mean, I can't lie to you, brother. Allegri gives you that sensation, doesn't he? He's done it before. He makes you believe.
I don't think it's that. I just think we have the most, together with Juve, the most continuity in our management and in the way the clubs run. I think there's not too much of a big change in the system we're playing and the type of manager we have. So I just think it's going to be between Napoli and Juve, just like it was 10 years ago.
And you guys know what happened the last time Allegri took over a Conte job, right?
A dynasty is what they would call
He
it.
won 6 Scudetti in a row. 5 Scudetti in a row.
No, it wasn't. I think it was. How many
Yes,
did
it was, dude.
But I don't know.
was 6, I think.
6. It was 6. I think it was 6.
I think he has 6 with Milan included. Allegri.
Okay.
So I think
So
he's got
5
5
in a row or
with
something.
Juve. And then he's got one at Milan. If you can just
of course, I'm gonna pull that
check
up just to make sure. That's fucking crazy. Think about it.
So Napoli are absolutely going to run away with it for the next couple of seasons. Okay, so ties with Fiorentina getting to 6. That's potentially a Europa League spot. We've got Lazio
5 in a row.
down in 14th.
5 in a row.
5 in a row. Crazy. Sassuolo struggling a bit over there as well. You could see from the screenshot that Tyson sent us on email. You can pull that out. He swapped Atalanta and Milan last minute. He had Milan in 7th and Atalanta in 8th. Then you just see 2 arrows swapping them around. Tyson, why is that, bro?
I just thought of Sarri since Jake mentioned smoking earlier, and I had to swap them around, honestly.
Fair enough, bro. Fair enough.
Atalanta with Sarri is going to be interesting because, first of all, Sarri's defensive record every year is top tier. Not to mention that Atalanta have always been used to attacking, and they have some players who can be very dangerous. I'm not sure what to expect with Atalanta next season. I know they're going to be solid, but I can't see them, for example, breaking into top 4 and really cementing themselves so early on. I think maybe in the second season with Sarri they can do that.
I think with Sarri you're getting a manager that, I mean, his football philosophy, as much as it takes some getting used to the style of play, the quick passing sequences, it takes some getting used to. But it's not like a Ruben Amorim system where the game is reinvented. So I don't think his style is going to overwhelm an Atalanta side who, let's face it, with the past 3 managers, they've changed around the style quite a bit, and they've adapted pretty well. I think they improve on the ball for sure, Atalanta, from last season.
Yeah.
Thing is, they haven't been too active in the market, whilst everyone else has been active.
That's it. They haven't been active in the market, and Ederson was very close to leaving. And if he is to leave last minute and they don't replace him, then that midfield suddenly goes from looking quite decent to quite poor, quite thin. Samardzic, Gaetano, Ederson isn't bad. But then if you look at, I don't know, Samardzic, Gaetano, and Pasalic, for example, that doesn't inspire me, doesn't fill me with hope. There's quite a lot of imbalance over there.
Has their own gone?
So Darun is still around. However, he's getting older, and of course he might even have to slot in at centre back sometimes, as he has done many times.
I think Darun
is how old
despite
nowadays?
his age, he's 35 years
Yeah.
old. I think despite his age, he's quite
He's a
he'll
soldier.
be that centerpiece in their midfield, I'm quite sure. Signing of theirs that might have gone under the radar is, of course, Thomas Christensen from Udinese, who's a very highly sought after defensive talent, just 24 years old, Danish, of course. It's a loan transfer, but I believe they've got an obligation to purchase him at the end of that. So defensively, it's a good signing for Atalanta, and I think they needed that signing as well.
Absolutely. If he stays healthy, especially, it would be massive, because he is a very, very good defender and can contribute offensively as well with a few goals and towering headers.
Yeah. What do you make of Atalanta, Thijs?
I think they have a lot of high potential players, especially coming up the ranks. I'm a big fan of Honest Ahanor, 18-year-old centre back, left-footed. I just think he can play left back as well. I just think he's going to be a great asset this season. I think he's going to have a breakout season. Someone who I'm potentially looking at for Fantacalcio as well, to play some money ball.
Very nice.
Nice. Of course, they've also gotten rid of Berat Jim City. His time has come to join the Saudi League. It's a shame.
Dream City life, we try to get by.
Pressure na. Yizaf, no matter how hard we try. Amazing. Guys, let's go through our tables a little bit, because the main thing that I'm seeing over here is
3 different winners.
Shall we start from there?
We probably should.
I think we should definitely start from there. 3 different winners. So we've got Jake with the most conservative choice. He'd win 20 cents if he bets €1. Inter to win the league. Tyson has got Napoli to win the league under Allegri. And we've got me Matt with Milan to win the league. So Jake, if Inter win the league, this will be the first time in 6 seasons, I think, that a team has won it twice in a row.
Yeah, in fact, that makes my pick the boldest.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why did you go for Inter, apart from them being complete favourites?
So I think Inter are complete favourites for a reason. They lost a few pieces in their team, yet replaced them with profiles that, honestly, I don't even think they'll feel the difference, and potentially they might even be better. John Stones at the back suits them beautifully if he can stay healthy.
Mhm.
He's such a good player on the ball, man. When he gets the ball, you can see that his technique is next level. Like, he doesn't need any adaptation or anything like that. He's just a top level player if he can stay healthy, especially. Sommer is gone, who was a big liability last season at times, for the most part, I would say. So that anxiety is gone from the back. They have Jed Spence, who has replaced Dumfries. Now, Spence, don't get me wrong, isn't a great player. In fact, I think his value has been kind of shot up thanks to his decent performance in the World Cup.
That tackle,
Yeah, that tackle, exactly.
15 million.
And you all know the one in the World Cup, of course. But you know what? He'll do a lot of work. He'll do a lot of work for them, kind of like Dumfries used to do. He'll provide a lot of width, he'll run up and down, he'll do a lot of work for them while the attacks can go through more creative players around him. And not to mention then the strikers, they are spoiled for choice when it comes to the strikers. And not to mention as well, by the way, Diouf has actually done a pretty good job at right wing back as well. So Spence leaves a lot to be desired. They have Diouf, whose output is literally proven at this point.
Yeah. I mean, fair points.
And Kivu, I think, will have grown as a manager. It was his first season last year. He fit in like a glove. There was absolutely no anxiety when it came to playing the smaller teams. The one criticism with Kivu last season was that he didn't win the big games against the likes of Juve, Napoli, Milan. He didn't win those games.
Yeah.
But I think this season he will have a better time. I think he is growing as a manager, and the team is just so experienced at this point.
Yeah. Thijs, you not only don't have Inter to win the league, before I ask you why Napoli to win the league, I'm going to ask you why do you have Inter down in 4th?
I just think Inter after last season really want to focus a bit on the Champions League as well. I think Kivu is not the most experienced manager in doing both. We could see that last season. I feel like he had a lot of hard times fighting against the bigger teams or playing against the bigger teams, and balancing that with the Champions League is going to be quite tough. I think they want to rather make a run in the Champions League, even for revenue, rather than finishing first again. I just think even the squad they're building, it looks a bit more like a physical Champions League squad than a Serie A squad for the long term, especially with players like John Stones, I feel like.
Interesting. Yeah, I think they're gonna want to go for the Champions League after last season's failure.
I think that for sure they're definitely more inclined to win the Champions League, with them being Serie A champions. I think with Kivu's second season in charge, I think we're gonna get one of two worlds. There's the world where he's gonna get the experience, like Jake said, from the previous season, where he struggled against the top 7 teams, didn't even beat Milan, and he's going to use that experience to help him grow. His team didn't change so much, so there's that element of continuity. There's that scenario that can happen, and then there's scenario B, and I call that the Arne Slot scenario, where he's starting to change a little bit after his 1-year experience, maybe work on the system a bit. We already saw that he likes to play with a higher line than Inzaghi did, and maybe he's been flirting with the idea of playing a 3-4-2-1, for example. So there's also because they've had the same team for a while, Inter. These changes that they made are very direct changes. So they brought in John Stones at the back, probably for De Vrij, let's say. They brought in Jed Spence for Dumfries, and that's it. And they've brought in Stankovic as a bit of an anchor in midfield, who will be in rotation pretty much. When other teams are making changes, staying fresh, keeping other teams on their toes, sometimes it could either be continuity or it could be getting old, and it's the same formula, which we've seen happen with teams abroad. We've seen happen in Italy as well, where the same formula and the same team can only win for a certain amount of time. So keep
But-
your eyes out. Maybe people are getting used to this Inter system.
True, very true and fair. However, remember that the players like Sucic, Esposito, and Bisek are all young and growing as well. So these guys are the ones that will be replacing some of the old guard if they were to fall injured or to obviously just not be up for it physically anymore. So yeah, bro.
But why Napoli, Thais?
I just think you mentioned it earlier with Allegri getting a Conte team or taking over a Conte team. I think just there's a lot of continuity. I've heard that Allegri will play a 4-3-3, but I feel like that will change throughout the season anyways, so it's not much different from Conte. I also think last year we still had the best squad in Serie A. We had all those injuries, which was a big problem. But I think if we keep the squad healthy, together with the few additions we have this year, like Marine and Biarashile, who has his medical tomorrow, I just think this team could do something great.
And what do you think about the Allegri siesta? Which, I mean, last season when Allegri was at Milan, you were the first to point it out that after February, Allegri tends to have this dip. Do you think Napoli are immune to this Allegri siesta?
No, I don't think so. I just think we'll be too many points ahead by that time to be affected by it.
Christ.
Nice. And where do you think, by the way, most of the goals will come from? Do you think it'll be scattered or like goals from defense, McTominay scoring?
I think it will be mainly Højlund. I think he'll be a target man. I also won't judge Luca. I think Lorenzo Luca can have his comeback under Allegri, honestly. I think Allegri trusts him. He's been working separately with him all preseason. He just scored 2 goals in his last friendly. I just think he could be a great backup, and I think it's a solid striker force up front.
My God, Lorenzo Luca and Max Allegri working together. That breaks my heart.
You're jealous, huh?
That breaks.
That's old school football. Old school number 9.
That's what I want to see, man. They're both on the wall behind me. I've drawn them both. Literally. So look behind Matteo to the Neza. You can see over there. Matthew, please. Give us a little limbo. There he is over there. And Allegri right there working together. Yeah.
Amazing. If you're not watching on YouTube or Spotify, then
What are you doing?
What are you doing? I went for Milan.
Bro. You surprised me. Huh?
I surprised myself, I'm going to be honest.
Is it just like, fuck it, YOLO?
No, it's not exactly YOLO only. I had a think. So first, I have to say, I changed my champion 3 times. Well, 4 times actually. So I had Inter to win it at first. I'm like, boring. I had Juve to win it for a long time. I think Juve, with the continuity that they'll have from Spalletti, taking over 4 months into last season, 3 months into last season, doing such a good job, despite those 2 glaring issues which have since been solved. We'll see how Vicario holds up. And then losing it on the final couple of days. That was his only bad streak. It was the last 2 games of the season. And that lost him everything. He was doing such a good job before. And I think him having a full preseason with Juve, him bringing in Colomwani and sorting out that glaring issue they had up top, him bringing in Vicario and rather getting rid of Di Gregorio, getting Lukumi at the back, getting someone like Alay Begovic, maybe Douglas Luiz could still have a good season. I think Juve are going to be dangerous. I had them first for a while. I had Como first for a while, man. And this is where I started to think, what team excites me the most offensively? Last year, Inter were the team that got the most goals. I'm trying to think, who's the team that even against a low block, who's the team that can really unlock those defenses? And I thought of Como, but then I said, they'll have Champions League as well. I still think they'll push for it. I think they're fully fucking capable. They have a deep squad. It's still to be seen what they're going to do with the striker situation. They're in advanced talks, I believe. Not in advanced talks, sorry. But they're currently being linked with Moise Kean, and they're being linked with Liam Delap from Chelsea. One of them will excite me more than the other. Let me just put it that way. But I think Como will be thereabouts. The reason I chose Milan is because Milan bring this unknown in Ruben Amorim, which is the same thing that scares people, but it's kind of the same thing that is exciting me. How much tape could these people have or experience they could have facing an Amorim team? I think from what I've seen in pre-season, I think Gonzalo Ramos is the signing of the Mercato, 100%. I think he is. The way that he plays with his back towards goal, the way that he presses. If you look at Milan, I believe their third goal against United, he was absolutely fucking flawless in the way that he was positioning himself and releasing the ball, taking a touch when he needs to, playing the one touch into the space. Brilliant striker. And then he scores the header at the end of it. Amazing.
Yeah.
Now Milan have addressed the left wing back situation by bringing in Diego Moreira, who is just, oh my god, he looks so good, so versatile. So it's like Theo Hernandez meets bloody Ronaldinho. I've never quite seen anything like it. We'll wait and see how he holds up in the league. And I think Milan have another bomba left. I think they have another bomba, whether it's in Nwaneri, whether it's Endrick on loan, which has been a talking point as well. So there won't really be a bomba. It won't excite me so much.
It would
But someone
be
on the...
another player doesn't quite fit, right, Sula? I mean,
Yeah.
he could play in the 10, but I have a few issues with Milan, bro, and I need to tell you, I've written them down over here. I've got 4 main issues with Milan.
Wow.
Okay, so number one is it's Amorim's first season in a new league, right? So that obviously, for me, it would be shocking if he were to walk into the league and win it in his first season. Number 2, the high line. Speaking of Amorim being new to the league, there are many cunning managers and many clever managers in the league. Like our friend up here is Max Allegri, right? You think Max Allegri will go up against the high line like Amorim's and not absolutely expose the shit out of it by having someone like Neres or Alisson running in behind? It'd drive them mental, I think. So that high line, I worry about it in Serie A because many managers will literally work and build their system to exploit that. And we have heard from many United fans that Amorim can be quite hard-headed and refuse to change his system.
Can I counter you immediately on that point?
Please.
Como had the best defense in the league. They probably played with the highest line last year. Inter won the league. They had another one of the highest lines in the league. If you're a possession-based team and you crowd the opposition's midfield to the point that if they play one pass, look, you watched United, was it against Sevilla? I forgot who it was against in the Europa League. Milan are gonna concede. They're gonna concede.
Yes.
You know. But like we saw in Inter and like we saw Como, that doesn't necessarily need to be the case because if you make the pitch as small as possible, it can make your defensive record without having top defenders actually pretty slick.
Now, to counter your counter
Oh my god.
is my point 3. My point 3 is that what's the difference between Milan's defense, Como's defense, and Inter's defense? Inter and Como are extremely competent at playing the ball out of the back. We've got experts like Bastoni, Ramon, Kempf can do it very well. They're all competent. De Vrij even can play well with the ball at his feet. Milan have
Mario
one
Hila.
player that I trust playing out of the back, and that's Mario Hila. There are 3 centre backs. Gabbia, Pavlovic, and Tomori are quite erratic, and Tomori and Pavlovic especially are quite error prone. So that doesn't fill me with confidence where you have the players coming out of the back and having to initiate play against a high press, for example. You lose the ball, then it's one long ball over the top. So that's what worries me.
Can I counter your counter to my counter?
Please.
Can I add something as well afterwards?
Yeah, please. What a show.
So, Milan have one defender that can play the ball out the back. I disagree. I think De Winter can do a decent job playing the ball out of the back as well. I think if Bartazaki slots into left centre back, which I think at some point he will have to, I think he'll do a good job of it as well. But you're forgetting
Sarah
El
Marshall.
Capitano, Magic Mike Manyan. You think what's this? 2015, 2012, 1994. That's what you think it is. Since when is the goalkeeper not part of building the ball out of the back? Magic Mike, the Eagle, Mrs. Baresi's funeral Manyan, our dear captain, didn't attend the funeral of our most legendary player in history, is probably the most talented out of those with the ball, the most talented with the ball at his feet. He joins Hila in building the ball out of the back. Those other two centre backs are gonna go wider to receive the ball and then the two wingers, we know what they do. They push up as much as possible, and the
You've
two
made
attacking
me gag.
midfielders come in narrow. So Manyan and Hila playing the ball out of the back suddenly doesn't
Okay.
sound so bad to me.
Fair.
Tyson.
Tyson, please take it away.
You did a really good job at saying how many goals Milan scored in pre-season and how good Gonzalo Ramos was. You forgot to mention how many goals Milan also conceded in pre-season.
Yes, but
Because
I
it's
have
all good and well. It's all good and well if you score 4 goals, but if you also concede 4 goals, what's the point?
no fair enough. Firstly, I'm all for it. Personally, I would rather watch a 7-goal 4-3 victory than a 1-0. But that's just preference, and I think Tyson, you'll feel that at the end of the season after a season with Allegri. For sure, you'll feel it. But that said, pre-season, I don't give a fuck, dog.
No, but you have to give a bit of a fuck.
No, but there are achievements that you unlock in pre-season. Sure, a victory finally at the end of it against Manchester United is a great one. Okay, you concede off the corner immediately. For some reason, there's Musa marking Maguire.
And Terracciano trying to build out the back.
I'm trying to understand it. Terracciano trying to build out of the back. But firstly, it's not Milan's first team that conceded all those goals. Secondly, Amorim came out and said it himself. He would not play that high line against Inter, for example. He used, obviously, Chelsea as the example. But he will not play that high line against Chelsea. Now, United fans say he's hard-headed and he'll never change his ways. But sure, yes, you know, because you've seen him for a season and a half. But from the press conference that I saw with my eyes and ears, he said, no, I would change system if I'm playing a different team. Of course, we won't play with a high line against Chelsea.
Yeah, which means that he probably played that system because that's what he wants to do against Torino.
Yeah.
Which takes me to my last point, by the way, which is depth issues. Okay, so we have Gonzalo Ramos. Match day 4, boom, ACL. Our striker's 17 now for the rest of the season.
Firstly, fucking relax.
I'm just giving you a worst case scenario, bro. Like, we bought Estupinian last year. We're saying Estupinian's sub is Bartesaghi, a teenager. The teenager ended up starting, and of course I love Bartesaghi and I think he did well, but he wasn't quite ready to be the main man in that position. What Milan are doing well, don't get me wrong, bros, with the players that are coming in are walking into the 11, making the previous starters the sub, and I love that. That's the way they should go about it. But there are still some holes when it comes to depth, bro. Again, Hila injured, who's going to play the ball out of the back in defense? You know, 10s, who are the natural 10s in this team, in Amorim's system? Amorim needs 2 10s in his system. I don't even think there's a single one. Pulisic and Leao have played on the wings for most of their career. I mean, Leao all his career. Pulisic sometimes has featured as a 10, but which version of Pulisic are we going to get as well? And who is their sub? Like, who's the guy? Like, who's going to be there? And what if Chukwueze has another situation where he balled out in pre-season and then match day 1 comes and he just looks completely off like he did last year? Remember last year, pre-season Chukwueze was unbelievable as well.
Yeah, before with Fonseca.
Yeah. So, I still worry about depth.
I do worry about depth.
Yeah.
I do worry about depth. With Europa League, I think sometimes you can get away with playing Camarda to safeguard Ramos a bit. I think, look, if Santi doesn't stay, I think Milan need another striker.
About Santiago Jimenez. I forgot about him completely.
I know, but
he's there.
Yes. Right? But he's rumoured to be leaving to Porto, I think. And Nkunku's on his way out as well, so it's not even the case where Milan can just take out attacking midfielder, a versatile one, and put him in attack. Maybe Leao can end up going striker if that happens, and if Leao ends up staying. Look, I have full trust. I am taking it for granted that Cardinale has got the bucks and he has raging ADHD. That if Amorim goes up to and says, look, I want this guy in the number 10 and I want this guy striker, I have no reason to believe this season that Cardinale won't do it, because so far he has given Amorim exactly what Amorim has wanted, and he spent 150 million on 3 players. Previously, they did that when that little twerp was there, the CEO Furlani. They brought in for 150 million, they brought in 10 players. They brought in 8 players, however much it was.
Yeah, I think this is the way to go about it, bro. Spend high on quality, because if you're just buying a bunch
And
of
peak
20 million
players.
players, I have nothing to complain about the players brought in, bro. Gonzalo Ramos looks great. He looks like a striker who knows when to pass the ball, which I love. This guy looks really exciting. What's his name? The Luxalt guy we bought.
Moreira.
He does look. He does
have
look
a
exciting.
BMW collection as well. You think?
Yeah.
E30s
I
in
hope
his
so. I
garage.
hope so. That makes Instagram super cool. But again, don't know what to expect from him, especially Moreira. But I like the approach. I like the business. What I don't like, again, is that there's no sporting director who is coordinating the sales. I also wonder who's calling these players.
Who's calling them?
Yeah. Who makes it?
I don't care. I don't fucking care. Are the players arriving or not? Who's calling them?
Who's calling that? I wonder. Is it AI agents? Just a bunch of AI agents. Hello, Gonzalo Ramos. This is AI Agent 42 from AC Milan.
Well, look. They're giving the manager what he wants. Last year with Allegri, they didn't. They brought him Ricci, he didn't want Ricci. They brought him Yashar, he didn't want Yashar. They brought him Nkunku, he didn't want Nkunku. And this was with a sporting director. So what? But you have a sporting director.
Yeah.
And not doing what the coach wants.
But the sporting director gets big bucks for the deadwood.
That's it.
That's it. That was key. Remember Iglitare, when he arrived?
Yes.
Started getting rid of everyone. Boom, boom, boom. Money coming in.
Made like 15 million for that fucking
Emerson Royale.
Yeah,
absolutely unbelievable. Let us know below who you think is going to win the league and why. And who's the craziest over here. I think we all know who's the craziest.
Milan to win the league, I'm going to stand by it. Also, just one last point. The second Amorim got sacked, Carrick inherited such a good team.
That
Amorim
like.
built.
Amorim builds good teams.
And he
Yes.
took them to a Champions League spot. I'm trying to see what other crazy ones we have over here. So Tyson has.
We all have Juve in top 4. Huh?
Okay.
We all have Juve in second.
We
all
all
of us.
have
We all
Juve
have
in
Juve in
second.
second, which means we're all high on Juve.
Yes.
I think we should discuss them next.
Look, I've had
Which
my
probably
say.
means Juve will win, sadly.
Probably. But if that were the case, it means if second in our predictions wins the league, it means Milan would be champions right now. Juve in second. Jake, why?
Juve.
Are they, firstly, can I just ask you this question? Guys, both of you. Are Juve challenging for the Scudetto? They're in second. Unless it's going to be, the first place team is going to trash everyone. Juve are in the title race, no?
I think they will view themselves as contenders when they look around and they see that many teams around them have gone through some kind of change and they have been continuous. They have continued with their continuity. They will definitely be wanting it. Will they admit it? Definitely not. No, the objective will be top 4, they will say, in the most Allegri-esque way. However, they have been smart in the market. They replaced Di Gregorio. Granted, they brought in Vicario, who hasn't been great, but maybe being in Italy will be more familiar to him as an environment.
Premier League is very different for goalkeepers.
Very different. And we remember, exactly, you have the fans right behind you. They're like, wanker,
those-
you're a wanker, you're a wanker.
Bro, like I remember our dad telling me, because Casillas was my favorite goalkeeper growing up. Now I watch the Mourinho documentary and I'm like, okay, it turns out I don't like Casillas as much as I did when I was a kid. But I remember our dad told us Casillas isn't a good goalkeeper because, well, he's not one of the best goalkeepers because of how he tries to handle crosses. And he said, put him in the Premier League with fucking Fulham and he'll concede them all from crosses. Because those high balls coming in the Prem, those Arsenal corners, those aggressive crosses, Serie A is a bit easier in that sense for goalkeepers, I would say.
Yeah, tempo-wise. Maybe, yeah. So he's the biggest question mark, Vicario, but as we have seen, you can win the league without having a top goalkeeper. I mean, we've seen
Inter with Sommer,
Inter with Handanovic. You know, we've seen them in the league. And Handanovic, no disrespect, was fantastic for the vast majority of his career. Let's just put that.
Napoli with Meret.
Napoli with Meret, another keeper who isn't absolutely sensational by any means. But I like the Lukumi transfer. So Bremer Lukumi to me looks good, man. And Kalulu's versatile, he can pop in there if he needs to as a centre back. So that's all well and good. Alay Begovic is interesting. He provides a little bit of a wild card. Conceição, Alay Begovic, and Yildiz might all be creative enough to create something out of nothing. You know what I mean?
And they have Zegrova as well.
Yes, they have Zegrova as well, exactly, coming off the bench. They have high flair, very high flair, which can be super for breaking down low blocks.
And with a Spalletti system, we saw what he did with Gvara.
Yeah, exactly. And not to mention Colomwani, who will be full of confidence. He looks so happy to be back. I'm not saying he's just going to replicate immediately the form that he was on the last time he was there, but it will definitely fill them with hope. And like this as well, man, McKennie maybe can play a more familiar role. Locatelli and McKennie in the double pivot sounds decent. Douglas Luiz has been playing decently in pre-season. I wonder what we'll get over there. There's Thuram, of course, Kefrem Thuram, who's a fantastic player, one of the best midfielders in the league.
Because that's the thing. They're top 3 squads in Serie A.
Yeah,
and
they're a good squad.
I said this last season when they had those 3 idiots up front, when they had Dead and Eddie up front. I was saying that, like, I think man for man, they have one of the best teams in the league. I mean, you look at their wings. Their wings are amazing.
Yeah.
You know, the creativity that they have now with Yildiz, Conceição, Alay Begovic, Zegrova one of these days is great. Now they have Colomwani, they sorted out the attacking situation. Locatelli. And then they've got players like Cope Miners and Douglas Luiz. Some responsibility has to go on the manager that didn't manage to get the best out of these guys. Because we'll wait and see what Spalletti manages to do with them, honestly.
And Spalletti himself is a massive advantage for this. For me personally, putting Juve in second, Spalletti was a big part of it as well, because I really believe in him as a manager. I think he's great. He's done it before. He has impressed at Roma. He's done miracles at Napoli. He's a very, very good manager.
Yeah. I mean, he's won it at your Napoli, Thijs. What do you put that down to the second place? Do you put it down to Spalletti? Do you put it down to the squad?
I was actually about to say it's the only reason why they're in second place for me. I just think Spalletti is such a good manager who brings the most out of everyone. And I saw it firsthand at Napoli. The second season was just incredible. And I think Juve could do something similar. I don't think it's out of the world to say they could be first place even by Christmas. You never know.
No, I think it's a shot. Juve can absolutely win the league, and you know what? Maybe it is time for them. I mean, it's been a hot second. No,
it's been a long time coming. And remember, we don't get doubles anymore. You know, we don't get repeats anymore.
Exactly.
But anyway,
you both have Roma in top 4.
Of course, yes. For me, this was when I really had to sit down and think about it. Who am I going to trust? Is it going to be Roma with Gasperini? Is it going to be Como with Fabregas, or Milan with Amorim, or even Atalanta with Sarri for that matter? For me, Roma with Gasperini had to take the cake, man. Roma have recruited decently. They haven't splashed the cash by any means. They haven't gone out and revitalized their team, but they had a very good foundation. And the most important thing is that Malin's still there. Malin under Gasperini was unplayable last year. And I am a firm believer that he will be a fantastic striker and maybe even the Capocannoniere this year, because it was crazy what he was doing, and you can't even call it a flash in the pan, because I would flick on Roma and just stare at Malin the entire time. His movement, how he calls for the ball, how he runs into the channels. He is an absolute natural in that position, at working the line and running in behind. And like we said, he's extremely efficient. He will take the perfect amount of touches before finishing. A high IQ striker like that in a Gasperini system will give you goals. Behind him, you have Sule and Dybala. That is the most concerning part of this team because you have two injury-prone players.
Yeah.
If you can keep them fit, then you have a very good system. You have a very good team. For me, it's not even about the individuals, though. It's about Gasperini. It's about Gasperini's unit. It's about Mancini and Dica Hermoso. Formidable. Formidable. Strong, tough. Molina and Wesley running up and down.
Yeah.
You have Kone and Cristante in the middle, controlling the tempo. You know, they have more options as well. But I think that Roma are very solid. They have the best goalkeeper in the league, Zvilar.
Okay.
The best in my opinion. And I think they definitely do it.
Well, they signed Rodrigo Mora because I was gonna say if like your reading of the squad, I don't think it does to me what it does to you. I think Malin's the best striker in the league. If we can take that portion of what we saw last year and apply it to the greater picture, he was almost top scorer in just 6 months. He's the best striker in the league, right? Sule and Dybala, you have a player with pubalgia and Dybala, who is like glass, of course. They'll give you 6 games, these guys, where they're unplayable. And Sule maybe a bit more as well. They just signed Mora, who is a very good signing.
Where does he play Mora? Remind me.
I believe wide and behind the striker.
Okay, that's good.
I just had him open, dude.
Let's have a look here. Do you know anything about Mora, Thijs?
He can basically just play behind Malin. I think
Okay.
he's actually the perfect signing for them.
Oh, that's great then. Absolutely what they need, because that's the part where they need an extra body. Because Sule and Dybala, obviously, you have Dybala fit and you play him, he's going to unlock the defense, probably. His talent is unbelievable. But they do need someone because they cannot rely on them consistently, unfortunately, for them.
Is this real?
What?
So, a 120 million release clause for him. One will concern the player's registration will reach 120 million.
There's a future resale clause, I think, bro. What's that?
Was that? I think up 100. Well, here it says 120 million euro release clause. So that could be the case. I think as in from the clips that I've seen of Moore, and I saw a bit of him in the Europa League, I believe, last year, or the Champions League. I forgot which one it was. I mean, he's good. It's his first season in Serie A. Raw talent, but I think they got themselves a good little player. But the midfield doesn't excite me. Like you said, Kone and Cristante, like it was in Rabiot and Modric.
No, so Kone is one of the best midfielders in the league. Cristante is a soldier of Gasperini, a soldier of any coach, absolutely. Remember that there are also the likes of Pisilli and El Ainaoui. There are 2 El Ainawis. There's one that plays for Roma and there's one that plays for Morocco. Because I can't believe that they're the same player, man. The one of Morocco looks very, very good. So remember, they only need 2 really midfielders in the system, like of that nature. So if it's Kone and Cristante, it doesn't bother me too much. If it's Kone and El Ainaoui or Kone and Pisilli, that could be good too. Remember, Pisilli had a very good season last year.
I don't like the double pivot. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a huge fan, and I also Roma. I think last season they got so much momentum in January, man. They got so much momentum after the signing of Malin, and Dybala was just coming back from injury. Juve and Milan kept slipping up, and Roma just stayed consistent enough in the last stretch of games with that momentum to do it. And they typically do the opposite. They're known to be bottlers in Serie A, but that time last season they really managed to push through. I've seen Gasperini get 7th with Atalanta. I've seen Roma get 7th with a stacked squad. I don't see Roma making Champions League again. I think it's a fucking fluke that Roma made Champions League last season.
Okay,
Honestly,
fair enough. Also shout out to Castro and Pellegrini as well, who left out, who are key players.
Yeah, Castro, good signing. He'll be a vice for Malin.
Yeah.
Unless they end up playing Malin.
Unless they do Muriel Duvan. Yeah.
Or they bring Malin, who was played out wide at Villa and sold for that reason.
I would hate if you had to play him out wide. Keep playing him where you're playing him. Don't you dare touch
But
him.
if you're searching for a goal,
Yeah.
Why they'll not? Well, play two
How do you
strikers.
feel about Roma, Thais? You have them in
I-
third.
Yes, I was really inspired by the Rodrigo Mora signing. I actually think it's a very Atalanta style signing with what Gasperini did there. He was injured a lot of last season, which is why he was so dead cheap for Roma. So I think Porto was a bit scared since he's a bit injury prone, which at the same time I think could be also a stab in the back for Roma since they already have two injury prone players in that position. Having a third one would probably not be ideal. But I just think the upside is so good for this player, and I think he can completely transform the Roma team. And I'm also a big fan of Pisili, as Jake mentioned earlier. He had a great season last year, and I think he's going to be great again this year.
Nice.
Cool. Good luck to Roma. So that is essentially, I think, the Europa League to champion kind of discussed over there. I mean, we've discussed Milan, we've discussed Juve, we've discussed Inter, we've discussed a bit of Como, a bit of Napoli, a bit of Roma.
Como actually I think deserve a little bit more because you've got them in fourth, and
Yeah.
Tyson and I have them outside of the top four. So we've both got them in fifth.
So how much? So it's clear what we're seeing here. So I mean, first of all, it was a last-second thing, no, last season that they got
against all
Champions
odds.
League. So
Yeah.
it's not the craziest of calls to have them outside of Champions League. I
Yeah.
still think it might be even crazier to have them in Champions
Mm.
League. I just find it hard to root against these guys, man. Well, to count them out
Yeah.
because Fabregas is the real deal.
Yeah.
I mean, if people find him cringe or they don't like these theatrical team talks and how he gives team talks inside the stadium, on the pitch, in front of the fans after every game, whatever. Look, man, he's got a team of young players. Gone are them days. Well, not gone are them days, but he's a true motivator. The type of motivators we got before, Mourinho would publicly criticize you, and that was motivation for the likes of Zlatan.
Mm.
Fabregas here, he's got a young squad, bro. He's got a young squad of players that I would say he has 3-4 players that have world-class potential.
Mm-hmm.
There's Paz, there's Baturina, there's a bunch of these guys.
Diao, Dacunia, Perone, they're all great, man. Yeah.
They're amazing. I think he is the next big manager in the world. I think he has a great understanding of how football should be played, how he understands his brand of football, his style of football. He understands the kind of players he needs to bring in, and I think they have depth. Watch them bring a top striker in now. They will bring a top next week. They'll bring in a top striker, even this week. They'll bring in a top striker. Their squad would be completed. They own Nico Paz now. I mean, they signed that fucking lunatic from Dortmund,
The Koto.
the right wing back.
So
I
the
forget his
Koto.
name.
There's Koto and there's Kaiki. And they both signed.
Koto.
They have a new backline. I wonder how they'll gel together. Because last year their defense was it was the best in the league, actually.
Dude, they've got depth, huh?
Yeah,
Como, they do
Koto,
have
Chalobah, Ramon and Kaiki is their backline seemingly. And then there's obviously Kempf, who will be in and out. And Valle, of course, as well. But as you said, bro, particularly the three behind the striker are unreal. Baturina has, even since last season, has grown so much. He even had a good World Cup, scored a cracker for Croatia, and towards the end of last season he started to grow. You know, he missed the vast majority simply because he wasn't ready yet. Paz staying is massive, and Diao, as we discussed, is arguably the best player on the team, and he's on his day. Perron and Acuna are a crazy double pivot as well, and as you mentioned, Fabregas is no pushover either. This is a very, very strong team, bro. My main concern with Como is how they balance the competitions, because I think they'll want to really prove something to the world, man, on the Champions League, because, you know, they are all about the story.
I think, say they want to win the Champions League, they get knocked out in the round of 16.
Yeah.
We were all here last season saying because Milan have one competition and Inter have all three. Milan have two, Inter have three. Inter gets knocked out in the round of 16.
Yeah. And
now
then
you all have one competition.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
That's true.
that could happen to Como.
It could. Yeah,
So, yeah.
absolutely.
Thijs.
And I think they will buy a striker, by the way.
I think
I think they will. Duvikas isn't bad, but if they
Duvikas
buy,
is good.
they get
Duvikas
the
will be
likes
their
of,
sub striker. I think.
someone like Moise Keane.
But that's the
They
difference.
wanted Keane at one point.
If they still want Keane.
Mm-hmm.
They still want Keane.
Hmm.
The difference is if they sign Keane or they sign Liam Delap. The only thing I'll say about Liam Delap is of course, they're calling him a flop after one season at Chelsea where he barely got a sniff. But that said, mention another England striker who plays with one of the top 6 teams under the age of 25.
Mention an England striker plays for one of the top 6 teams under the age of 25.
There's none.
This isn't my niche.
There's none.
No, there isn't. I think you're right.
Liam
Delap.
Delap is the next striker of England.
For me.
Tammy
Delap.
Abraham.
For me, Delap turns well. That's all I can say. I've
That's
seen
it.
him play. Turns well.
Yeah.
Turns well.
Thijs, Como, do you think that the Champions League will get in their way that much? Or
Yes,
do you think
that's
that they can cope with it?
That's exactly why I have them in 5th place. I just think it will be a bit too much for them. And I think, like Jake mentioned earlier, I think they really want to focus on it because they're making that fake fairy tale narrative online. And they want to run with it and they want to show off in Europe. And I think that's fair enough to them. I think Quoto, the signing from Dortmund, he's going to be phenomenal. I was looking at his heat map against Arsenal, the game last week. Absolutely crazy. He was everywhere on that side. I think he's going to be great to watch in Serie A. I also think they need a striker, as you guys mentioned. I think they should go for Troy Parrott.
Oh,
I think,
what a shout. What a shout. I love
Crazy
players
shout.
like that. I'm not sure if he's of the Fabregas mold though, because he's quite immobile as a striker. I mean, technically with the likes of Diao, Paz and Baturina, I don't think you need a mobile striker. And a target man would be perfect to complement these guys. I'm a big fan of Troy Parrott. I really like him.
Yeah, I think he would be a great signing. And shout out to our new patron, Stuart, who is Irish as well, who joined today. I was mentioning it earlier in the group chat. I think Troy Parrott would fit in any Serie A side, honestly. I think what he's doing at Feyenoord is great, and I think Serie A would be the right step up for him right now.
Yeah.
Feyenoord, AZ, no?
AZ,
yeah, AZ.
AZ.
Oh, no, yeah, AZ, sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Good.
We only know because we watched them
Watched them live randomly
last season. We flew to the Netherlands and there was AZ against Feyenoord, was it? No,
PSV, bro.
exactly, PSV.
Say
PSV.
it properly.
La la.
All the
la,
Dutch
la.
teams are red for some reason.
Yeah. This game, by the way, an absolute, for lack of a better term, molestation of AZ Alkmaar. It was
for using the best possible word.
3-0 in what, bro? Fucking 10 minutes, 15 minutes. They
No, the
got
first sequence was a terrible pass out by the goalkeeper and a simple finish from Gustil.
Gustel. I like it.
Gustil. That hasn't
What a
left
game.
my vocabulary for the past year almost. I want to talk a bit about Fiorentina.
Crazy signings. They spent 100 million over what?
So we've all got them in the same kind of area. I mean, Tyson's got them in 6th. I've got them in 8th.
I've got them in 8th. No, I've got
You
them
have them in 9th.
9th, yeah.
Actually. Great signings. I think, along with Milan, I'm going to say it, best mercato of the summer. But still, it's the same organization. And apart from the new signings, apart from, Atta and the likes, Mastantuono, I mean, there's still the same other starting. There's Moise Kean who struggled for goals. There's Albert Goodmanson that was hiding. It's now they got Grosso, but when you enter a team like Fiorentina that are rotten from the bottom up and from the top down, it's a manager and a few new players aren't instantly going to fix the situation. Now they finished 15th or something last year. We have them in 9th, 8th and 6th over here. Is a European push realistic?
I mean, with how they've recruited and considering last season was a particularly bad flash in the pan and they haven't been quite lucky with off-field issues as well. Of course, their owner died last year as well. That's why they seemed at times like a team abandoned.
Mhm.
It was hard for them, man. They were under a lot of pressure. Their players felt the pressure. It was palpable through the TV, man. The amount of toxicity there was in the stadium and in the players themselves. But now there's a new mood in the camp and in Florence in general. Did you see the reaction to Mastantuono? A signing like that can really instill belief in a squad and in players. And while Goodmanson has flopped for 2 years now, we still know that there's a player there. But now he's not going to be as untouchable because, they have a little bit of depth about them now. They have something going on. They have a new manager. He has to impress him. If he doesn't do well, he's not going to play. It's as simple as that. They have so many players who are creative. Mastantuono and Atta can both play behind the striker, behind Keane. Assuming he plays a 4-3-3, I wonder and I worry about their depth on the wings, to be honest with you. Other than that, but if he goes for something like a 4-2, no, not a 4-2.
I mean, with Grosso,
like a 4-3-2-1 or 4-3-2-1 with attacking midfielders might suit them even better. What I worry about is Dragusin in that back line, because he's quite slow and the back line's quite high. There are very fast players around him, like Valdepeñas, Vieri, and Jimenez. They're all quite quick. And the midfield has definitely improved by putting Atta there. Atta is a player that he plays at his own pace. Even when you watch him at Udinese, it's like the game slows down when he gets the ball. That's a sign of a quality player. They get more time on the ball. Players don't press them. They're scared that they're gonna do them. They can slow down. They can look up. They have the technique to get out of certain situations. And Atta is like that for me. Atta has a Zidane from Wish feel about him.
I mean, and this is the same manager that had so much success with Sassuolo last year. And a newly promoted side, we saw what he's capable of doing with them. He's had 2 promotions from Serie B up to Serie A. He has a full year of experience worth in Serie A now with Sassuolo. Again, a team that had just gotten promoted. Now his task is to revive a Fiorentina. I think this season will be very telling for Fiorentina as an organization and as a club. If they manage to get out of this with the simple hiring of a manager and a few, solid players, Mastantuono alone, a new centre back, a ball-winning midfielder, a good attacking midfielder. If that sorts them out, then they're golden. I just find it hard to believe that a team that finished 15th last season can suddenly, like that, after making a few changes in the summer, can, get into European football. I think there has to be a rot somewhere, and if there's bad attitudes on the pitch, which I wouldn't be surprised if there are, with players like Keane and Goodmanson, we see their attitude on the pitch sometimes. Mastantuono isn't exactly, this humble, sweet guy. He's quite a hothead. And I mean, probably, I mean, Alex Jimenez we know as well.
They've got João Mario there as well. You've got them in 8th though, which is quite high. You've got them, I think, so Tyson has them the highest in 6th. I've got them the lowest in 9th. Exactly.
No, I have them in 8th, and I think they'll have a better season than Udinese, Lazio. I think Lazio will regress significantly. We'll get to them next. And Bologna as well. I mean, Bologna, their mercato for the past couple
might
of seasons.
be a little bit under the radar. I'm not saying for a European push or anything like that. I put them in 8th, Bologna, but I don't mind some of the business they've done, man. I kind of like what they've done up front. I like the Dovbyk signing, man. I think that Orsolini, Dovbyk and Rowe isn't bad at all, considering Rowe is going into his 2nd season. Last year he was very chaotic but unrefined. He grew towards the end. Bernardeschi playing in the middle with Ferguson and Moro, I think that can be this can be interesting. It depends totally, I think, on Tedesco and what version of Tedesco we see and what he and the way he plays. But
It's firstly, Thais, thoughts on Fiorentina? Do you think they can actually? You have them in 6th, of course. Why did you do the predictions 2 minutes before? Are you standing by 6th?
Yes, I do. I think last season, even statistically, they were the team which underperformed the most. And I think it was because of off-field issues, as Jake mentioned. Rocco Commisso sadly passed away. I think there was some other things going on as well in the background, which affected the whole squad. I just think the squad itself was really good last season, actually. It wasn't the worst squad. I think they didn't deserve to finish so low. I think with the new signings, even controversial ones like Alex Jimenez, I think someone like him could really light up that back line. I think they're a decent squad, and I think they can push for European places. I think my whole Fiorentina to Atalanta, Bologna area could be swapped around a lot. I wouldn't like. I could see Milan as well finishing above Fiorentina, but I just think Fiorentina has what it takes to push.
Okay, I just want to make a quick comment as well. What was it? Give me a sec. About Fiorentina. Fiorentina. They brought in right wing backs. They brought in
Jimenez and Joao Mario.
Jimenez and Joao Mario. Dodo, is he on his way out? They lose Dodo. That's another. That's a key player for them out. Dodo to Milan because Milan need another wing back. Dodo to I don't know whoever, maybe even a Barca for example. Dodo, I wouldn't consider himself a guarantee for next season. But yes, like you're both mentioning, I mean, they are a team that before they finished 15th, I mean, they got Conference League.
Yeah.
You know, they're a team that should be battling for Europe. Now, can they just recover, or is this something that is going to take a bit of a longer term project? Lazio, guys, Lazio, we saw them regressing from the summer of last season. I mean, they had the transfer ban. Sarri was cheated. You know, they brought him in, didn't tell him about the transfer ban. Then they told him, don't worry, we'll make up for it in January. They didn't. Actually, they sold two of their best players. And now Sarri has stepped aside. They've brought in Gattuso, who doesn't exactly have the best track record as a manager. His most recent spell was not getting Italy their third World Cup qualification in a row. Which probably isn't completely down to him, though. And throughout the summer, business as usual. No, I mean, okay,
Yeah.
they've brought in Frattesi, but I mean, unless they're planning to start Ratkov up front next season, I don't know what they're doing, man.
So you know the summer I turned pretty. I've heard
Sure.
of it. I don't really know much about it. But for Lazio, this is the summer they turned ugly, man. God damn how bad they look.
They look bad.
It's in every single department. So I'm just going to walk you through, for those of you who haven't seen our social media post, I'm going to walk you through what Lazio went through the day before yesterday, was it? It was against Mantova in the Coppa Italia, right? In the preliminary rounds. They played Mantova. Lazio finished higher in Serie A than Mantova did in Serie B last season. First of all, the Eagle fell, man. It crashed into the stands, all right? So that's point number one. The Eagle, when there was Bernabé, never did that. So number one, they lost Bernabé and the Eagle's worse now. Number two, season ticket sales. Terrible. They haven't been selling season tickets. Lotito's strategy to get the fans on board was non-existent, and he actually ended up going to war with them, with the fans. So even against Mantova, the stadium was absolutely empty apart from the away sector. The screen went on at a point to reveal the new kit in an attempt to market it a little bit. And the video was of last season's kit. Lazio are an abandoned club, man. An abandoned club. And last year, Lazio fans weren't even high on the team. And that team included Provedel in goal. It included Hila and Romagnoli at the back. With Marusic and was it Pellegrino or he Pellegrino, I think. Tavares, exactly. And Tavares was pretty decent. Guendouzi in the middle, it had Castellanos up front. Suddenly, this team is looking much worse than it
Read
did.
their predicted starting 11.
We have Mandas in goal with Marusic, Doki, Romagnoli and Pedrosa at the back. Now Romagnoli is a big question mark. Frattesi, Rovella, Taylor, okay, in theory they're good, but Taylor has to do a lot better, for example, and Rovella than they did last season and against Mantova. Isaacson, Dia and Zaccagni. And if you're playing with Dia as a sole striker, then you haven't been paying attention, man. Dia doesn't work as a sole striker. Dia works with support. Dia's a good support striker. He is the support, not even he works with support. So, it's a bunch of players who struggle with form. Zaccani hasn't been the same in ages. Isaacson is very on and off, very form inconsistent when it comes to form. Diaz, well, Rovella, Taylor, they're all it is a team that is severely lacking, man.
Now, Tyson has them in 14th. I have them in 11th. Sorry, in 10th. You have them where, Jay?
I have them in 11th.
Okay. I wouldn't go so far as to putting them in 14th, funnily, because of Gattuso. Gattuso joined Milan in the banter era. Hot take. Gattuso is the one that took Milan out of the banter era. Gattuso actually got the players playing for the shirt. He assembled a team with some kind of identity, which Milan didn't have before him. And he missed out on Champions League with that team by a whisker, by 1 or 2 points on the last match day. He was sacked.
I remember.
He
He had the same experience with Napoli, I believe, where he just missed out on the last match against Verona, I think.
Exactly. So I think actually for a team that's in dire straits, I don't think he's the worst coach possible, but I don't think he's the kind of coach with this squad that can push for. They're nowhere near Europe next year, huh? They're nowhere near Europe. I mean, we all have them out of the. Well, I'm the only one that has them in 10th. 10th is the highest prediction for Lazio.
I was speaking to our father, whose name is Kevin. Hallowed be thy name. And he told me, I was telling him about Lazio's situation, how dire it is. And he said that Gattuso might actually be, against all odds, the best, the thing that Lazio need the most right now. They need, his argument was, they need a person who can unite the group and create an us against the world mentality. I think that's fair enough. I think we've seen that work before. The question is, what are Lazio's ambitions going to be? I don't think they're quite good enough to make any European competition. They're not bad enough to get relegated. So they're just going to be stuck in this thing where Gattuso's trying to rally the troops and get them ready, but there isn't really an objective that is rewarding in any way. And then you have the players who do step up and perform throughout the season. They will start to want to leave because of the lack of investment, right? If Taylor has a good season or if Zaccani refines himself, they see that the best players around them are being sold, they're going to hand in transfer requests. One other slight positive that Lazio have now is they have more out and out Laziale. Like Frattesi is a boyhood Lazio fan.
Okay.
The same with Romagnoli, the same with, I believe, Zaccani, if I'm not mistaken. So you have three guys who grew up supporting Lazio in your team. It should, in theory, mean something. Does it really? That's a different story.
Yeah,
but
it does.
Yeah.
But for playing for the shirt, of course, it makes a difference.
Yeah, it should.
But big fucking whoop. It's not gonna do shit, that man. It might get them 10. You know what I mean? You spoke about their ambition. There's one ambition. Don't make Lotito look like a twat. That's, you know how Ted Lasso has belief written in the dressing room. That's what Lazio have in the dressing room.
Don't make Lotito look like a twat.
Lotito look like a twat.
Must be a large piece of cardboard.
You said
a lot of tape.
Gattuso is the kind of guy, well, our father, whose name is Kevin.
Hallowed be thy name.
Said that Gattuso is going to give them that us against the world mentality. Did the empty stadium not give them that already? The empty stadium with Lotito
knocked out
in VIP
with a swanky hat.
You'd think he's dead, bro. You'd think he's dead. Is that not an us against the world?
He'd have a spit bubble growing. You can tell he's breathing because the bubble is growing and shrinking.
Gross. But Big Tice in 14th.
14th is bold.
He's saying one of two things. Either they start okay and they start to dip a little bit at the end, or it's a relegation battle all season like Fiorentina last year.
What's it going to be, Tice?
What's it going to be?
I was going to start out by saying I think it's either between Gattuso or Amorim for the first manager to be sacked. But then I was thinking Lotito can't afford to even sack Gattuso, so it won't be him. they'll be sticking with him all season. And although I think he did great things at Napoli, at my club, won us the Coppa Italia after Ancelotti was sacked. I just don't think he can. It's too much pressure for him. I think the empty stadium week in, week out, no away fans traveling with the squad,
A
it's going
sick
to take
bird.
a toll. It's going to take a toll on them, and I think it's like a dead animal in the field, and there's going to be all the other smaller teams picking at them. I can see them going away to Lecce and losing. I can see them go away to Genoa and lose. I think it's not for them this season, and they'll be in a relegation battle. I don't think they'll be as much as we think, but I think they'll be like mid tens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Shall we jump to our relegation teams a bit? I mean,
We're not going to talk about the Udinese that we're all high on.
okay, so you and I are high on Udinese.
Yeah.
Tyson has them in 13th. Okay.
I just like Runic, man.
We
and I think they're strong, and Zaniolo's lit, and Voivoda's there now, and Sole's an animal. I just think they're a very hard team to play against.
I think it's season 3 under Runjaic.
Yeah.
They improved so much last season from the season before. Keep in mind where they were at before Runjaic with Sotil, that great start, and then the near relegation scare.
Have they signed anyone apart from Voivoda?
Yes, Udinese. Let me take you through their mercato.
I can't quite remember. We cover every signing, and then I forget them.
Yes, but
It's absolutely brutal.
It's
a
because
different
Venezia has so many signings.
So, yeah.
Well, they brought in Idrissa Gueye, Zaniolo, Zanoli, Unai Gomez, Chuck Vetadze from Watford,
No.
the Georgian attacking midfielder, Voivoda, Omar Traore. Well, not crazy signings, and keep in mind they've lost Atta, Payero, and they've lost Christensen as well.
Okay, Christensen and Atta are big losses. Paero, they could replace.
Zaniolo is going to be there. Yes,
Zaniolo is
of
going to
course,
be there.
He's been redeemed from
yes,
Galatasaray.
yes, I love Zaniolo.
I like Zaniolo on the front too, man.
Yeah, I just like what he's all about. I love how high octane he is.
I think Udinese are a team, and I think they're formidable. I think they're tough to play against. I think they're going to get a ball in your grill. And I think not only that, I think they're completely unpredictable as well. I think they've got really unpredictable players. I think Soler is super unpredictable. I think Ekkelenkamp is one of the most unpredictable players in the league. The fact that he can just, towards the end of the season, start shooting from 35 yards out, shooting directly from corners, and doing all this crazy shit that he does.
Who was the team
exciting.
he kept scoring against? Was it Napoli, Thijs? Ekkelenkamp?
No, it wasn't Napoli, but it was one of the bigger ones. Yeah.
Juve, maybe. I can't. Yeah,
Pretty
could
sure
have
he
been
got a
Juve,
few.
I think.
I think
curling it in top bins every time you play against it.
I think he scored against
Okay.
Milan a few times, Ekkelenkamp as well. But
Okay.
I just think this manager, he could be at a bigger team. This is season number 3. We'll see, because season number 3 could start the rot, Mourinho syndrome, or this could earn him a big move. If he breaks into the top 10 properly, that's his job done.
Yeah. We should talk about relegation because I'm just looking at Tyson's contenders.
In fact, I just want to start off by saying, Jake, you and I agree. Frosinone, Lecce, Monza are to get relegated. You have Frosinone 20th, Monza 19th, and Lecce 18th, right?
Yes.
I have Frosinone 20th, Lecce 19th, Monza 18th.
So I can tell you there are two things going on here. There's our predictions, and then there is reality, right? Because we've been saying Lecce will get relegated for like 2 seasons now, and they just never do. They never die, bro. However, it can be. It is clear to see that their team lacks investment, and their manager, their owner himself, has blatantly said that teams like Lecce rely on the drop every now and then to get those parachute payments so they can rebuild and go back to Serie A stronger. I think it's time. I think they're basically planning for Serie B. The Banda situation doesn't help them at all, and they really struggle to score goals. They have a fantastic centre back in Gabriel. However, the partner is not exactly the most reliable player in the world. And I saw yesterday, for example, he got a little bit exposed. Yesterday, Palermo outdid them, man.
Yeah.
Palermo were too much for them. Their direct game. Palermo, by the way, are an absolute joy to watch. They embody everything that Pippo Inzaghi was about as a player. He's their coach, of course, for those who don't know. They play an extremely direct and energized kind of game. They're very passionate and energetic and direct, and yeah, they are just so fun to watch. But yes, I think this will be the year that Lecce go down. So we have to get a kit.
I think so as well, and we should go watch them as well. Their only signing really made was Go Bells,
who wears the 69, by the way.
They're getting.
And I was wondering,
relegated,
what's the logic there? Perhaps a silly question, but really, is it because of that?
No, I mean, maybe his parents were born in 1969, or his mom was born in 1969.
Maybe
or
his
he's
parents
up-
69 to make him.
That's not how it works.
No way.
That's not how it works. You can't waste your calm at the start like that. You're 69, you're a bit out of juice. Anyway, I mean, they signed Goobels, otherwise no business really. And Goobels is a player that they need because they need a striker. But I just think their time is running out. I think, to be honest, I don't think the owners would have hated if Lecce got relegated last season. I think low-key they started preparing for it. They showed no signs of sacking Eusebio Di Francesco even after laughable performances throughout the season.
But they believed and he delivered.
Yes, they believed and he delivered, for sure.
Yeah.
Did they believe, or did they not mind the drop and then Di Francesco surprised them?
Yeah.
Something tells me they wouldn't mind the drop. Now, the city of Lecce will disagree with us. They're very passionate. They're some of the best supporters in the league. I think
But at least they suddenly go from being absolutely horrible to fighting for a trophy, which must be fun, let's be real.
Yeah, yeah.
Like how Tyson must have felt when he went to watch Napoli in Serie B.
Esat. But does Tyson have Lecce?
Tyson does have them getting relegated. He has them in 18th.
You have them in 18th. Okay, so you both have them in 18th.
Yeah.
I think they'll dip a bit harder. Okay, so, and then we've agreed, obviously, Jake, on the two newly promoted teams in Frosinone and Monza.
I think Frosinone will be really fun, but they're too young, I think. I think they're too young to stay up, and I think they'll get smashed.
Much like Pisa, I don't think their squad is good enough.
Yeah.
Monza, I think, although they have players with Serie A experience and although they have a manager with Serie A experience,
I think Juric would be the best manager in this relegation scrap.
for sure. I don't see it though.
I think they have. I'm surprised by the lack of investment. Like they brought in Mangas, for sure, who looks interesting.
A significant lack of investment. A manager in Juric who, okay, you could look at him two ways. Either stabilizer, mid-table Torino, or you could look at him as the worst manager in Premier League history. You know?
And Hellas Verona legend.
Has run a legend, Atalanta flop, Roma
Yeah.
flop. You could look at him many ways.
50 Shades of Juric.
50 Shades of Juric, amazing.
Colpani Mota Cutrone.
It's nice, eh? It is nice.
It's nice, is it nice? I'm not sure if it's nice.
It is nice, but I've seen them get relegated before. That's
Exactly,
number
yeah.
one.
Cutrone.
And number two, I saw them get promoted. They low-key didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
That low-key should be Catanzaro.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, fair. Yeah, yeah. They have Akin Samiro, I guess, was a nice signing, but that defensive line does not fill me with confidence at all. And even the other guy, Colombo in the middle, I don't know much about him, to be honest with you. We'll have to see. It's always risky going in with an unknown in your starting 11 at the highest level.
But I mean,
You have them
Tyson-
surviving, Thijs. Is it Juric, the Juric factor?
I think it's just the Juric factor, and this team has been in Serie A before, as in more recently than the others, I feel like. I mean, Frosinone, I have them staying up as well, for example. I just think they have that Serie A experience still in their squad, that DNA. And for Frosinone, also my reasoning is just one name, Romano Schmidt. Remember that? I'll remind you guys at the end of the season, I think he's going to be a breakout star in Serie
Romano
A. I
Schmidt, tell us about him.
He's so I'm originally from Bremen in Germany, and he played for Werder Bremen, and I watched him there for the last. I think he has 190 games there.
Wow.
Also a team which is like bottom half of Bundesliga, has like 38 assists, I think 20 goals. I think he's quite good.
Oh, nice.
Um,
Are you taking him on fantasy?
maybe. That's why I just have Frosinone and Monza staying up. I think they just have something about them, which the other ones I have going down don't have.
And Venezia, I thought they had quite a productive mercato. You said
He's
maybe
using that against them though. As a
one too
yeah.
many changes. And Genoa, though, I mean, is this the 10-1 loss to Bournemouth or whoever the heck it was?
It doesn't count. It was 4 games of 30 minutes.
Stop with this
It-
bullshit. They lost
It's actually
10-1.
not. It's actually
was.
not listed on FootMob. It's not. It's not a real game.
Yeah, it was 4 sessions of 30 minutes, and the last 2 were played by youths, and they lost them each 3-0. Everyone's going mental about this. 10-1.
So why do you have them relegated? I thought they improved last year.
I think they have a decent squad, but I also think they also lost a lot of key players like Ekator. I think Castro's a big loss too. Sorry, not Castro. Yeah, Ekator. I think they're like one defensive injury away from not performing. I think if someone like Ostigard is out, it's over for them. I don't know. I just don't see it. I think every year they fight so hard, and I think this is the year similar to Lecce where it just doesn't happen for them. I think they run out of steam.
I think they have a bit too much about them to go down. Personally, I think De Rossi's an interesting manager. He's quite well balanced. Their defense is strong, like you said. Granted, okay, maybe they're one injury away, but Marc Andalli and Vasquez are quite competent as well.
Yes, but
Vasquez especially.
to be fair, they've had close calls the past 2 seasons. They had a close call with Gilardino and they sacked him for Vieira. And then Vieira stayed on another season, almost got them relegated at the start, and they got De Rossi to save him. If my maths and my sequence is correct, De Rossi should give them a scare now. And will they be able to get out of it?
Yeah,
Because
that's
it
a
feels
fair
like it's
point.
just a new manager bounce every time. So is
Yeah.
De Rossi the sustainable one, or is this another new manager bounce?
I think they also have some players who can. So they have defensively, they're one of the better teams in the bottom in the relegation scrap, right? And then when it comes to the offensive part, we shouldn't forget that they have Junior Messias, who will give them 5 solid games a season. Let's not forget, because he's very injury prone, right? But when he comes in, he does look like a very good player around his teammates. They have Hamad Traore, who they brought in. Remember him at Sassuolo? He was quite an interesting player as well. Jibril Sow was there last year.
I don't think so, because you would have made that terrible joke if he was.
Yeah, he's a player who is very experienced, plays with the Swiss national team. That's a nice little coup for a relegation side. Baldanzi was trying to prove himself as well. Colombo was trying to prove himself as well. And I think a lot will actually rest on how Colombo performs this season, to be honest
And
with you.
of course,
Because
Vitinha as well.
Vitinha will probably play behind him,
Yes.
as they have been doing. However, if Colombio starts shooting blanks, then they'll struggle to score goals potentially, because they have the likes of Aaron Martin and Baldanzi and Messias who will be servicing Colombo.
Well, I think. Sorry,
Please,
yes,
Thais.
Thais?
I think personally, since I made this table last minute, this is maybe the one team I would swap with Monza, just escaping relegation. Maybe if I could make one swap, but
Yeah,
I
we'll
could
allow
also
it.
just
We'll
see
allow
go
it.
the other. I could also just see it go the other way and they go down. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, I think that the Rossi train will stop, as Matt just mentioned as well. They always have a new manager bounce, and I think it's just maybe not happening for them this season. I could see them start really poorly. They don't have the easiest fixtures to start with. They face Napoli on Saturday, and then I think they face someone else, another tough opposition the next week. It can go bad really quick. I think for them.
Fair enough. Yes,
Fair
that
enough.
is totally possible. And before we go a little bit on the likes of course, Parma, for example, brother, Tyson, you've got Parma pretty high. You've got them in 11th. Do you think they will continue to utilize Haram ball to the maximum?
Yes, I think like I mentioned when I was mentioning my lineup, I think Cuesta will harambol the shit out of the league this year. I think it's going to be proper terrorism. And I do enjoy watching them, actually. I think it's fun to see them, especially against other bigger teams which are challenging Napoli. I enjoy watching them, making them struggle.
Yeah. Let's not forget that a very important piece is coming back in this Parma team. A player who we totally forgot about because upon signing, he got a very serious injury. Friggin.
Friggin' hell.
Remember Friggin?
Yes.
Friggin should be back. Let me just confirm that he's still there. Yes, he's still there. He's 23 years old. Only Croatia. They spent a hefty amount on him, and maybe finally we get to see him. He played in the Coppa Italia against Catania. So that's an interesting piece. They sold Pellegrino, which I think is a big question mark for me. In fact, that's why I have them a little bit lower. I have them in 16th. Because I'm just wondering where these goals are going to come from.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, bro?
I think that, firstly, putting aside the striker situation, because I mean they did sign, for example, David Romero. Like, of course, we don't know too much about him.
And El Bilal Toure, by the way,
El
from
Bilal Toure.
Atalanta. Yeah.
So, waiting to see how those guys perform. I thought Pellegrino was a really good fit, obviously, because of his presence in the air, his strength, which really helped Parma rely on set pieces, crosses, and all these kind of things. Because, of course, they're top scorer. But I think Parma had a really slow start to last season, and people were tipping them for relegation. But I think the amount they improved by the end of the season and the amount of victories they managed to get by the end of the season, like I remember they had gone up until like match day 21 with a couple of wins, and I mean they finished the league with how many victories was it? Let me just search that really quick. They ended up finishing the league and then with wins. Sorry, guys. With 11 wins.
Yeah.
Parma got 11 wins last season. They finished in 13th place. Like, that for me looks like a team that's on the up and a team that's improving. Now, I believe in mine, I had them in 13th as well.
You did have them in 13th.
I have them in 13th,
Yes.
which means they remain exactly where they are. I wouldn't be surprised if they push that higher. I think they're a super organized team. They have a system that works for them. And now they even have a player, I forget his name, but they have a player that can create something out of nothing. I believe it's Ousmane Diallo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Damn, I just had his profile and then ad popped up. I'm on Guida.
Get premium.
But anyway, whatever. Guida Premium. I wonder if that exists.
Yeah.
But anyway, we also have the likes of Cagliari. I have Cagliari in 14th. I like the unit more than the individuals. I think Pizzacane has really given this team an identity and a toughness about it. And I still think they have quite a bit about them to survive quite comfortably. Kevin Carlos will be one of the strikers next season. That's interesting to keep an eye on,
That's
especially
a fake name.
fake name, AI generated, 25 years old, Kevin Carlos. And then there's Maldini, who does not exactly fill me with all the confidence in the world. But I, as I said before, I like the unit, I like the team. I think they're very hard to play against. They're like a mini Udinese, kind of, in my eyes.
In many ways, I think they're a bit less maybe physical than they were previous, maybe last season. I don't know. I'm looking at their midfield. Yeah, they still have a Dopo. So I'm not huge on the signing of Winks. I have no idea who Kevin Carlos is.
Let's look up Kevin Carlos, because I'm actually very curious here.
Piccoli was there last season, no?
Yes, he
Piccoli's
was.
gone.
He's gone. He's at Bologna.
He's gone to Bologna now. So I think their squad has regressed a bit.
Yeah, it has. No, it definitely has. Kevin Carlos is a striker who was playing at Nice last year. Exactly. He managed to get himself 0 goals and 0 assists and 9 starts.
Amazing.
Very good. Yes, what a player. However, the season before he scored 13 goals, 14 goals the season prior with 4 assists. So we'll see how Kevin Carlos does. By the way, thoughts and prayers with Treppi, man. Have you heard what happened to Treppi?
Yes, bro.
He was airlifted. They
accident
found him
in a
drowning in a
pool,
pool. This is the 20-year-old striker of Cagliari, man. Yael Treppi.
Thoughts and prayers, huh?
Terrible.
Thoughts
Yeah.
and prayers. No, and it's actually a huge loss for them as well.
It is. Hopefully,
Looking
they'll
at
find-
their squad, I feel like Treppi could be utilised pretty well. wish
Yeah.
him a speedy recovery.
That's another
of
thing that
course.
fills me with confidence about Cagliari, how these guys kept coming in out of nowhere, man. Players that we'd never
Mhm.
heard of, and they just hit the ground running. I think Pisacane is very good at managing the pressure on young
Uh-huh.
players.
I think they'll battle relegation. Huh? I think they'll get very close to relegation this season. But I
Fair.
think, again, Pisacane and their play style, I think they've got a lot of technically gifted players. It's a shame they lost Gaetano. They still have the likes of Esposito, for example, and they brought in Fazzini as well. So hopefully they'll still manage to maintain that kind of... Sometimes you watch them play and you're like, this is total football, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hope they still maintain that kind of
Absolutely.
style
Thijs,
of
you've
play.
got them ahead of Udinese, Lazio, and Sassuolo.
Yes, I think Cagliari and Udinese are kind of in the same boat for me. I think they both have that aura that on their day they can show up and beat a big team. But at the same time, they can also be a team which within 20 minutes has 3 goals conceded. It's like either or, you know. And I also think that both of these teams are very tough away days for any squad. And I think that's kind of what's carrying them in this as well. Like Cagliari is always a tough away day, same with Udinese.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, very true. Shall we jump to the last two teams now?
Yeah, we've got
Pretty much
Sassuolo.
Sassuolo and Torino.
Sassuolo and Torino, for me, are quite similar going into the next season.
I agree and disagree. As in, I don't know what similarity you're referring
When
to
it comes
exactly.
to the level on the pitch, I think that
And they've both inherited Serie B managers.
Yes, absolutely.
In Aquilani and Abate. Very different ones.
Sassuolo will be more fun to watch, definitely.
Sassuolo
Yeah.
definitely more fun to watch. I feel like they've both inherited managers that suit them.
Mhm.
I have
Yes.
a lot more faith in Sassuolo this season than Torino, though.
Absolutely, absolutely. Same here. In fact, I have. Do I have Sassuolo? Yes, I do. I have Sassuolo in 12th
Same.
and Torino in 13th. Sassuolo's team on paper looks good. I mean, they have Adzic on loan from Juve. They've got Lauriente and Berardi on the wings. They've got Pinamonti up front with Bowie as the deputy from Hellas Verona, who was doing well. There might be some growing pains settling into Aquilani's new system. I don't think they're relegation candidates. I don't think they're European candidates. They will sit somewhere in the middle. They'll have some good games. They'll have some bad games. They're that type of team anyway. Hopefully they can build something for the future with Aquilani and continue to develop some nice players. What do you think, Tyson?
I completely agree with you, like 100%. I also think that Cholito Simeone will have a standout season. I think at these teams he always performs just like he did last season. I think his spell at Napoli wasn't the best, for example, but then his spell last season on loan there was excellent. I think he's going to have another great one, which is going to keep them performing well.
Yeah, I think Torino will have good moments. So I think Sassuolo will be pretty solid. I think Aquilani and Grosso are similar in many ways as play style, formation. I think Sassuolo, of course, they'll be missing their Canadian midfielder,
Kone.
Kone, at the start of the season. but
Yes, because he did his
hopefully-
ACL, poor guy.
God
Or he
willing.
broke a leg. What was it, man?
I think he broke his leg.
Brutal.
And he was having an amazing World Cup as well.
was
Yeah,
having a
he was
great World
having
Cup.
a great
He'll,
World
he'll,
Cup
he'll
there.
hopefully be back soon. Fingers crossed. I think Sassuolo are a star-studded team. I think they've got players that can create something out of nothing. They've got solid players like Matic and Tordsvet in the middle. Of course, huge loss for them in losing their Georgian centre-back. Not Georgian, sorry.
Moharemovic from
Moharemovic from Bosnia.
Bosnia, exactly.
The rust is really coming out in this episode. I'm feeling it.
No, as if
The Georgian centre back.
Georgian.
What's his name? Moharemovic. No, he's not.
I knew you were talking about though. There's definitely no Georgian
Yeah.
because you
So-
can't pronounce his name.
So I think Sassuolo will have some growing pains, but
Yeah.
again, similar enough to not go down too far. I think they stay in 12th, something like that. Torino with Abate, and then I really fear that they won't be able to create many chances, man. And if they're not able to create many chances, I fear that Torino could end up entering a relegation battle. Don't get it twisted, man. They were very close to that last season. And before Juric, they were close to that as well. I think Torino will be a bit humbled. I'm hoping for the best for Abate.
It could be. I was surprised by the Abate appointment, to be honest with you. I thought they would go for someone with a little bit more pedigree, but clearly they've taken a risk. When it comes to the creative part of their game, Oristanio is a creative player who's there. Vlasic, of course, and then they have Pedersen and the Cacciamoni out wide who will try to be crossing the ball onto Cassidy and Simeone's head. I'm very excited to watch this Fitzjim guy. We discussed him in not the previous episode, the one before. We're talking about how he's an interesting Ajax player, but he doesn't quite have the physicality to play that position. I wonder how it will translate to the league.
Yeah.
Yes. But
Very
anyway,
exciting stuff.
that is it.
I think that's a good breakdown, guys, of our predictions. Let us know your predictions in the comments, of course. As always, let us know who you agree with the most and the least. Right, but that's enough for our predictions. We have a brand new segment that we're bringing to you guys that will remain consistent for the 26-27 season. If you're bored of predictions, if you're bored of all this nonsense that we've done in the past, we're bringing something that could be of value to you. And this is our new betting game, and it is called Quindici. Jake, how does Quindici work?
Quindici is by no means a betting advice segment in our podcast. This is merely a betting challenge between me, Matthew, and Tyson right over here. We are going to be starting the season with 15 euros each, and we will revisit our betting account on matchday 38, or after matchday 38 rather, to see who has the most money in their bank account. We'll see what happens if we end up with a big fat zero by match day 3. Of course, that would be hilarious. We might have to top up, who knows. But we'll also see how we go about it, who is the most conservative with their money, who's the bravest, whose bets are the craziest. This will be good fun, I believe.
Yes, and play along. I encourage you, well,
or comment
pinch of
along.
salt. Comment along,
Yeah, that's
play
fine.
along.
That's enough.
One thing you'll see is, I think we'll all be a bit more on the conservative side, considering we're starting with 15 euro. I think I would rather die than end up with zero in my betting account before match day 10. Let's put it that way. I don't want to top up, but remember, the winner is the one with the highest profit margin.
Yes.
So if someone just keeps betting 15 euro every week and inputting 15 euro, terrible strategy.
That's a horrific
Awful strategy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tyson, how are you feeling about our new segment, brother?
I really love it. It's going to be really fun. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of banter. It's going to be a lot of teasing, and it's going to be very exciting.
Let's
Absolutely.
start with this question. Okay? So we've all placed our first bets. I don't
Yes.
know what you placed. You don't know what I placed. None of us know. How much money did you guys bet?
A fiver. I started with a third of my total amount immediately off the bat.
Tice?
I did a fiver as well, but I was considering to do 10.
Oh my god.
Guys. Young money, huh?
250.
Young money. 250 all day. 250 all day. You're kid 38 match days.
Yes, bro. It's
38 match
it's
days.
a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly.
Yes, but
You-
fine,
You're
bro.
treating it like a who comes first
want-
competition.
I want to get an early boost. Now we'll see.
All right.
All right.
Let's go. Let's start with Tyson.
Please,
Tice,
Tice, take it away.
tell us your bets and the odds.
So first I went for Napoli to win. I mean, I'm going to back my own team here. I did it at 175.
They're against
I think
Genoa
they were-
away, is it?
Again, yeah, Genoa away. I
It
think
was
it's decent odds.
185 earlier today, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed it by just a bit, but it's still decent actually for a Napoli win. I feel like another day in the season you would not get those odds for a Napoli win. So next up I have Udinese against Como. I'm gonna go under 2.5 goals. I picked this up at 160. And the reason why I went for under 2.5 goals is because the last 8 times they met each other, there's been under 2.5 goals. And also, the last 2 times they met each other was 1-0 and 0-0. And I just think at 160 odds, it was a decent pickup. And I think it's the first game of the season. I don't think Como is going to start off firing super hard.
Okay, so your fiver can potentially win you how much?
Oh, wait, I have one more just
Oh.
to make it. I also have Torino Milan, both teams to score at 173.
That's a good one. Huh? That's a good one.
So with €5, it's in total 4.78 odds, which would result in 23 and euro and 92 cents.
That's a bold bet to
I
start it
hope
off
you
with.
lose.
Yes, me too. Now, my bet.
We're all friends here.
Banter. Now, I'll just go ahead and reveal my extremely conservative bet for match day 1, which will somehow fail and see me lose a third of my entry money. I've got Inter versus Monza. I have result Inter to win and over 1 goal in that match at the odds of 140. I have Frosinone versus Juve to win outright at 1.48, totaling to 2.07 odds. That'll double my €5, making it 10.36.
So that's can you repeat? It's a win for Inter.
A win for Inter
goal.
and over 1 goal, and then a win for Juventus.
I know exactly what you did there, and I pretty much did something incredibly similar. So I was torn. Firstly, I think there were some high odd games, like the Napoli to win was at 1.85 away to Genoa. Milan to win was also 1.85 away to Torino. So there were a bit bolder ones that you can do. Make 185, put a small bet somewhere over 1 goal or whatever. But one thing, I didn't want to be too bold, and the both teams to score kind of bet and over goals, etc. I want to feel out the season a little bit before I can judge a team on how many goals they concede, how many they score. So I tried to go for obvious victories in my head. So what do we have over here? We have Inter and Juve playing newly promoted teams, and I think you saw it a similar way to me. So I put Inter to beat Monza at 1.22. I put Juve to beat Frosinone away at 1.48. And I did draw Napoli for Genoa against Napoli, and that was at 1.18. And that took my total to 2.5, which means with 250, I make 534 back. A
Slow
bit more
and steady.
conservative.
Yeah, this is the safest bet. This is a good bet, I think.
It's for me, it's it's 38 match days.
Yeah.
This is the first one. I'm it seems safe, but I'm petrified.
Yes, me too.
Of
I'm
this.
worried about potentially Inter just winning 1-0, and that would suck.
Yeah,
That would
you see,
absolutely suck.
I didn't want that.
But
And I don't
anyway.
think Napoli will lose to Genoa.
Yeah. I don't think so either. What do you think, Thijs?
I think with your guys' tactic, it's going to be a very slow season, because imagine if I do win, I already be €20 ahead of you guys. It's going to be hard to catch up to that. I think you guys should put more risk into this.
But imagine you lose.
You think after 5 minutes
Yeah,
of
but imagine
foreplay-
you lose with the odds of only making a bit. I think that would suck even more.
Yeah.
Think it. Don't. You guys are assuming I'm gonna be the Allegri of betting.
We'll
No
see. We'll
way.
see. I mean,
No way.
desperate times call for desperate measures, but it's not quite a desperate time just yet.
Once I have, €20, start praying. I'm gonna be bold, but for the time being, I want to gain a bit of a safety net.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys! I'm not giving you any of my strategy.
All right.
actually.
All right. Yes. So this has been Quindici, a very short, bite-sized segment over here where we will be ripping each other to shreds. We'll see. We will revisit this. I can't wait for Matchday 1 to happen and to be here and to see what the hell happened. It's going
I'm
to be
so
good.
excited.
Yeah.
Thijs, anything you want to say to our beautiful listeners before we bid them adieu?
Thank you for having me today. It was a pleasure to be on. Thank you, Jake and Matt.
Thank
Love
you
you, brother.
very much for all the work you've done recently. I'm sure that the viewers have noticed our YouTube looking different, for example, our production value increasing a little bit. That's all thanks to your work, the graphics that you make, and the fact that you're constantly motivating me and Matt as well. It really helps. It helps. Seasons are very long. 38 match days are long. Covering 10 games every single match day is tiring, and we're very lucky to have you.
Yes, man. Yes, we love you.
I feel very lucky to have you guys too.
Thank you. We're all happy. We're all in love. But in this segment, we are enemies.
Yes, and
But
you
guys-
are little bitch boys, both of you.
Next time we speak, fuck you. Next time we speak, we're gonna be covering matchday 1 of Serie A. I cannot describe how excited I am. We'll catch you all next week. I want a beer ready in your hands. No. A lot of you listen to us while driving to work. I don't want any beers in your hands. I just want positive vibes.
Yes.
Love you all. Ciao, ciao.